February looks to be a blast of a year, all in one month. I admit I was wrong. I thought for sure one of these companies would back down, but so far it hasn't happened. It's nuts to see so many blockbusters move into a particular month that isn't quite known for being the biggest release calendar time. But we have multiple big bangers of titles here. They're all coming out 2022. These are some listed games, some you'll know and some you won't know. But so far at least, they're all coming out in February. Subscribe if you like these kind of videos. First up, Figment 2, Creed Valley by Bedtime Digital Games. Check this out, everybody. Hopefully this one still comes out in February. It's a strange mix of exploratory gameplay, puzzling, platforming, action, slashing. It looks like it came from the mind of one of your friends who brought over those special brownies. You leap into a person's mind like Psychonauts, but here you have to fight each one and discover why the nightmares are there because they're destroying the person's brain. Each boss has their own theme song that you actually play and dodge and attack to beat them. The game looks phenomenal, and Figment 1 got tremendous scores. This is something that if you even slightly think it sounds good, you should check it out. Second up on the list, and also a sequel, is Dying Light 2. This is our jumbo-sized zombie-killing action game of this month. There seems to be one almost every month. It's got parkour flips because killing people while doing flips is just really cool, and changing the world with your choices seems to be something the developers have wanted, adding a fresh RPG element that the original game actually didn't have. Will that muddy up the gameplay and sort of dilute what we loved so much of the original, losing those gameplay chops? Time will tell, and I'm waiting on a specific time to tell you more about it. But as a huge fan of Dying Light and seeing their phenomenal DLC support for the original game, jumping into this new one is something that, even though it's had a couple issues with development hell we've certainly all heard of, I'm really excited to check it out. First-person zombie killing with parkour, that to me is an excellent way to spend your single-player time, but a clear claim to fame for the original was the multiplayer, which Dying Light 2 also has. And the third is Ollieollie World. This is a 2D skateboarding game by Roll7. Now, when you first see it, you may think about another game that sort of fits at least within the same style of bill, and that's the Trials games. And graphically, a bit like Pool Panic sort of smashed together, though this one is pretty much just 2D. Cruising around Redlandia and competing against the timer and your friends, there's a heavy focus on difficulty with really quick twitch timing. And mixing that in, throwing crazy obstacles at you. I love the graphical look of this. It's a little like Sable without the consistent micro stutter. It does. It's cel shaded. I love that thick look to this game world, and everything you see is slightly off, well, not slightly, majorly off kilter, and I enjoy that. If you look at the characters and the customizations and the different clothes they can have, this looks like a special title, but the quick twitch people may be the only ones who want to apply for this one. We'll have to see how it goes. And up fourth is Sifu, the Highlander martial arts game. This is when a character keeps dying and just keeps coming back to kick the heads in of those who've betrayed him. Sifu is a crazy third-person martial arts extravaganza with you taking on the form of a martial arts master who, when they die, ages slightly, but keeps coming back. And as they do, they gain a couple different skills when they do so. With each death, you level up those various stats, but as you grow older, some of the stats start to go down. I previewed this game a while back, and already when I was playing that preview, it was something special for that small snippet of time I got to play. This is a title that already feels like it's got its gameplay chops pretty much in line. I love the look of it, I love the feel of it, and it's one of those titles that really does, or did at that time, get its 3D camera right, where when you're fighting and you grab somebody and you interact with the location around you, it's done pretty much automatically versus having to go to particular hotspots in the game world. Sifu, coming out February. And up for number 5 is Total War Warhammer 3. A lot of war in that. What can I say? These games have either been amazing or awesome, and that's in a genre that could easily go wrong if you don't handle it right. Switching from the more realistic Total War games to Warhammer, I didn't quite know how all this was going to go. I'm a huge Warhammer buff. The idea, though, was to take all of that awesomeness and move it into a Total War game, and they knocked it out of the park. Total War 1 and 2 are, if any indication, that they know what they're doing. But the game's not just resting on the back successes. It's also got customizable Demon Prince protagonists knocking heads with pissy, pugilistic dwarves and all manner of other races smashed into this. That customization screen for your main lead, you should check it out. They've also upped the number of players, and a lot of people have been playing this for a while. I'm excited to tell you about it, but So far, these guys have been able to nail this time and time again. And when you look at other IPs that maybe if they move on to after some of these Warhammer games, I hope they bring that same excellence. February, it's coming out. It's going to eat up a lot of people's time. And coming in number 6 on the shoulders of an award-winning first go, everybody already probably knows it's going to be on the list, and that's Horizon Zero Dawn Forbidden West. Now, Horizon Zero Dawn, it was a standout title. It was made by a dev that hadn't even really come close to making a game in that kind of action style, and then rounded it out with somehow awesome weapons, traps, neon dinosaurs. If Forbidden West had ninjas and pirates, it'd probably win Game of the Year award for all years, including the last ones. But here, we follow Aloy once again into new lands with a ton of new tools, an incredible, amazing revamped engine. That thing looks insane. And the idea of playing a sequel of the original title makes me think that the Game of the Year awards is going to be a pretty unique time this year. And number 7, Martha is Dead from LKA, a first-person psychological horror game. Martha is Dead grabbed me from the very first time I saw the original trailer. It's about Martha dying, and your question as her twin is to find out exactly why. The game's developer made the amazing Town of Light title. You should check that out. And their developer chops, they're solid as hell. Mixing supernatural elements with a war-torn Italy, the game juxtaposes personal loss with the overall loss all around you, and the responsiveness, or lack of it, by the people within it. The game has a creep factor 5 set of gear on, and it looks to be exactly what fans of the genre want. These kind of games are not for everybody, but they are absolutely made for me. And up next is number 8. It looks like a Mobius strip a little bit, which replicates how you play these games as you die and try and die again, and that's Elden Ring. If you want, you guys can check out the preview I have on the channel of what I've seen. FromSoft's newest Dark Souls-style game, or it's a mix of them. The developer proudly laid that gauntlet down on the ground and challenged themselves to a little bit of development play here, and wanted to improve pretty much everything from the prior games. Make them bigger, better, faster, stronger. Horse combat, check. Horses can run up walls, check. Huge open worlds, check. Dark Souls-style combat, maybe, but it's more a bit on the side of Dark Souls and Sekiro having the world's creepiest baby. It's a bit faster, it's a bit more smooth, and it's a whole lot prettier. The artistic value in this game shot up the moment that first actual gameplay trailer arrived. Elden Ring has gone from everybody's we don't know kind of title to something that even people who have never wanted to jump into a Dark Souls are looking at and thinking, maybe I can try. I cannot wait to tell you about it. And then we have a game, number 9, that people might not expect from me, but bear with me, and that's Grid Legends from Codemasters. I had the last Grid game, and I gave it a chance, and that's one chance I admit I wish I could sort of have taken that time back. Grid Legends is decking out their next in this series with AI improvements on the enemy system that's supposedly a step up massively from the original, which really just turned AI into missiles that didn't steer and somehow used you for brakes. Grid never wanted for cars or control or action. It just needed to be cleaned up some with that first game blunder moment really showing its head. Hopefully, Grid Legends does that. These kind of racers are my favorite, and seeing them try again and just really going for it, stepping it up, even with movie-like cutscenes with characters playing out with this, you could say it's almost a nemesis system. It has my hopes high enough that they could be dashed by a couple homicidal enemies that treat their cars like friggin' lawn darts, which is what happened last time. I'm crossing my fingers that Codemasters' recent purchase is something that allows for some developers and just some fresh resources to go in and really step Grid up, because I want a game like this. And speaking about games I want but didn't sort of know I wanted, and that's number 10, Life is Strange Remastered Edition. Few games hit the adage of this game might not actually be for you, then Life is Strange. And the remastering is coming out, and I'm not 100% sure a lot of people are going to jump in, but something I've been looking forward to is them stepping up and improving character design and faces and technical areas like that. I mean, Life is Strange was one of the most enjoyable games I played that year that it came out. And the idea that we're getting a remastered version of this excites me mostly because they have gone back and they're fixing a lot of the animations of the characters' faces to be more emotive and more detailed. And a game like this solidly rests its entire storytelling based upon those emotions. And that to me is a reason why I might check this out again, because I'm excited to see if they've done that. I do think that those people who took on Life is Strange and did True Colors actually improved on that. We got to see that big step up. So I hope we see at least that kind of fidelity, and you're going to see some comparisons here in the video for you to decide if it's at that level. This is a title that a lot of people might look at and be like, I'm not 100% sure. But as a game that starts out pretty basic, turns into something incredible if you just give it a chance and you're okay with playing games like Telltale titles. And those are my games. I want to know yours, though. Put them in the comments. What are your games? If I've missed any, throw it in here. The only bad thing coming out of February is that when we go into March, April, and all the other months is what's being released in those. Are some of these companies holding things? There's some titles that we know of that are coming later, but February is just going to be a banger regardless. And that's the time for me. I hope you guys liked it. Make sure to check out the Patreon. It helps me keep the channel going, helps me give you guys reviews that aren't 2 minutes long or filled with sponsored bullcrap, and these lists and the new videos you'll be seeing. Patrons also get a couple podcasts, but most importantly, they can jump into the Discord. We have morning discussions about the gaming news. We have all kinds of stuff going in there, and more people are jumping in there every single day. It's been incredible. I love the fact that so many people have leapt in there. Welcome to all the new people, and thanks to anybody who's been there for a long time. Thanks to you as a watcher. Let's jump into February as a bunch of happy campers and hope that at least 50% of these are awesome. That's it for me. Peace out.